Now, new research is showing that young girls would rather be hot than smart. They are becoming overly aware of what they look like, starting from 5-year-olds who are already thinking about dieting, 11-year-olds who are already wearing foundation, mascara and lipstick, and 17-year-olds who are already having boob jobs. And Botox at age 23 is not that far away. And all this to help boost self-confidence. But actually, it has the opposite effect. And Nikki Bush, parenting expert, author and speaker, joins us to give some great and valuable advice to you parents out there. Nikki, welcome to Expresso. Always nice to have you.
Thanks, Ewan.
So where does this whole thing come from that young girls want to look hot 24/7?
Well, think about what we do when we first see a little girl, whether she's 4, whether she's 6, whether she's 8 or 12. Our instinct is to say, gosh, what a pretty dress, or I love your hair, or look how tall you've got. So what we say to little girls, whether they're our own or whether they belong to other people, is very much first off about their appearance. And then think about all the messaging that they're getting from the media. Whether they look at Mum's magazines, front page, there's always a photoshopped something, of a very curvaceous person who's got the supposedly perfect figure. Look at the plethora of programs on TV about nipping and tucking and cutting and whatever. So we give them messages that if you don't like something, you can fix it. So are they actually perfect as they are, or should they be better than they are? So they see a lot of things. There's a lot of advertising using sexual innuendo, whether it's for printers, photocopiers, or whether it is for feminine products. There's a lot of sexual innuendo. So they become very, very aware of their outward appearance. Not many people say things that value their female brains.
Yeah, there we go. And it must be very difficult for parents to handle this kind of thing. But so what you're saying is the focus really for these young girls, it goes towards the outer appearance mostly, instead of trying to build that inner confidence.
Yes, so what we get is a short-term gain of, oh, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
You can get precocious behavior, and I've seen it so often with little girls. Somebody arrives in the house and they come out and they almost pose, as if to say, look at me.
Yeah. It's what they saw on TV.
It's what they see on TV. So they're role modeling what they see. They're role modeling what they see their mothers, how they see their mothers dealing with their own perceived physical inadequacies. Because women often talk about what they don't like about their bodies and what they don't like about their faces. And we very glibly say these things in front of our children. So we're actually programming them from a very early age. And we need to just be aware of what we're marinading these little girls in and start asking, I think, having different conversations with them. Instead of going straight out for what you look like, why don't we talk about things like, so what are you reading at the moment? We need to change our conversations. Even 4-year-olds are reading books, and they would love to bring you that little book that they're reading. They'd be so proud of it. What are you thinking to an older girl? What do you like? What do you don't like? What are your dislikes? What are your passions? And how would you fix the world to a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old? If you had a magic wand, what would you fix? So starting to have really interesting conversations with children, because right from the age of 4 or 5, they're actually philosophers. They have very deep thoughts about the world around them, but not many people ask about what is going on inside their heads.
Exactly. So for the younger generation women, you would suggest that women in particular, mums, maybe people in influential situations, really play a role as the thinking woman, and not as someone just like, oh, look at me.
Absolutely. So it really is about having those conversations, about changing the way we approach girls when we walk up to them, when we meet them. And if we start doing that, every girl is going to go through an awkward stage in her teenage years, where she's changing, where her skin goes bad, greasy and all those things. You need some inner strength to go through those times, especially when the world is telling you should be looking otherwise. So we need to be building up that real inner strength so that they can get over those hurdles that are to come, so that they believe in themselves, so that they've got a very, very strong sense of self-confidence and self-esteem that comes from inside, not from outside. And we really do need to change the world one little girl at a time.
That's it. Starting from the inside, working it outwards.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Nikki, thank you so much for joining us. Always nice to have you. We'll put some more info on Nikki Bush on our website, expressoshow.com.